It's Maryam's making magic. Maryam's making magic. Here we go. Welcome to the first episode of Maryam's making magic. So for all those that know me, Maryam, Alima-Saabira, and my beautiful daughter, Alima-Saabira, Queen Jones Muhammad, you all know that we are huge Harry Potter fans. And beyond that, Maryam is a lover of food making. I love to cook, I love to bake. And so today, for our first episode, we, in honor of Harry Potter, we will be making pasty.
2 pumpkin pasties, please.
We're gonna be doing a savory pasty and a sweet pasty. Okay, so let's get this magic
Wands at the ready.
happening. Okay, so for the pasty recipe that I use, I'll be using 3 cups of flour. Lord, you know I should put my phone on. Do not disturb. Rather than just doubling the recipe, which sometimes I do. Which sometimes I do, I am going to just make these separately. So I've got my 2 sticks of butter. Actually, I'm going to tell you what's in the recipe first. Okay, so we're going to need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, I personally don't use just unbleached white flour by itself. I prefer to mix unbleached white flour because, as well as just being a channel that incorporates magic. Oh, I didn't even explain to you what these were. How rude of me. This is the elder one. I got this on my 32nd birthday at Harry Potter Land in Orlando, Florida. This is the Resurrection Stone. It's really just, I believe this is an amethyst. I'm actually not really that big of a crystal person, but that was pretty. It's purple. And this is my invisibility cloak. So we've got our Deathly Hallows, and they'll be stationed here, just, you know, because why not? So yeah, as well as incorporating a little magic fun within this channel, because Maryam's making magic and you can make magic too. We also, because everything that I learned on how to cook properly comes from this great man. Well, actually, yeah, well, from 2. Which I am a registered member of the Nation of Islam, born into the nation in 1989, but registered in 2019, right after my 30th birthday. It's from How to Eat to Live, and these books are the knowledge given to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is from Master Farrakhan Muhammad himself, which we in the Nation of Islam know and believe that Allah came in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. And to whom anyone that doesn't understand that, a beautiful lecture to have further study would be Who is God by Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I'll actually leave a link for that lecture below. So yes, these 2 books, Volume 1 and Volume 2, is what I utilize in order to make sure that I'm cooking properly in my kitchen for longevity of life, vitality. We don't eat to live, we live, wait, is that a blooper? Wait, we don't live to eat, we eat to live. I'm just using unbleached white flour because we don't use bleached anything because that's death. Rather than just using unbleached white all-purpose flour, I prefer to mix half and half ratio of wheat flour and unbleached white flour. So let's go. 1.5 cups of this. We'll go with these. And actually, it may just be a cup today because this recipe requires 3 cups of flour for 1 batch of pasty dough. But I don't really feel like going to get another jar. So we're just going to use maybe 1 cup of unbleached white, roughly. And me, when it comes to baking, now when trying new recipes, it is quite important to make sure anything that has like a chemical reaction or something, say like baking powder or yeast for that matter, strive to use the actual, well, even with flour, it's very important to be somewhat precise when it comes to baking, especially when it comes to baking yeast bread or something like that, because the flour to yeast ratio, flour to water ratio, it's just important because it's science, but when it comes to cooking now, did I measure any of this? I did not. I just poured it in. I said, oh, this looks like enough garlic. Oh, this looks like enough smoked paprika. Oh, this looks like enough sugar, salt. Be careful with the salt because you don't want to over salt your food. But, cooking is with love and just, experience. Pretty much eyeball everything. And I always, whenever I look up new recipes, I always make them Maryam-esque. I put my own spin on it. Perfect. 3 cups of flour. All right. 1 stick of butter. This recipe calls for 1 stick of butter and a half a cup of vegetable shortening. I didn't use vegetable shortening. Most has soy, and per How to Eat to Live, we do not use soy. So sub out that with any half a cup of vegetable oil of your choice, which I actually forgot and might have made my pasties come out a little bit better. But it also requires 3/4 teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of sugar, 1 large egg with 2 teaspoons of vinegar and 3 to 5 tablespoons of water. I'll be adding the egg mixture to the dough at this moment along with the water. And once it resembles a nice crumbly dough, take it out, knead it for a few minutes, and set aside to chill.
Mixing managed.
I've gotten our dough into the freezer. I'm going to make the mixtures for all of the for the pasties. Now, fruit is best. In How to Eat to Live, we learned that eating fresh fruit is better than eating cooked fruit. So since this fruit has been frozen, I'm not going to necessarily put this fruit into the pan or the pot when I make the syrup for the pasties, the sweet pasties. I'm going to wait and just add it to the mixture after the mixture has cooked. Now let's go ahead and move into making our mixture for our savory pasties after I wash my hands. Okay, so for our savory pasties, we're going to be using this is just what I had in my kitchen or in my refrigerator and freezer for making these today. So I have some frozen cauliflower that was fresh that I froze myself. We also have some broccoli in there as well as some carrots. And we're going to be using some cheese along with that, along with all of these seasonings, and I'll have a list of that below. And then for our sweet pasties, we're going to just be doing a nice simple apple pasty. These are my herb cubes. One has cilantro. I'll give a description of all of the herbs in here in a moment. So we're going to put these into this. I'm going to cook down the herbs before I put in the vegetables. We're working double time over here. We're going to start doing our sweets. That's just cinnamon, allspice, sugar. Use about a cup of water. A little bit of molasses. This I'm actually just making up. Is what I've decided that's going inside of there. The reason I added these is because I didn't have any aromatics such as onions or anything like that on hand, but these herb cubes actually have it already inside. We're gonna add the vegetables. Just a little water, not a whole lot. And then add in fruit pectin. some peppers for right now. Now it is time to form our pasty. Maryam's making magic. Maryam's making magic.